everybody, it's Audie and welcome to my channel Cozy Dragon Crochet. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my last holiday market for the year and kind of like what my plans are for, future markets. So let's go get into it. You'll have to excuse my getting used to the phone thing. I got the newest iPhone update. I hate it, but it forced it on me. So here we are. Everything's a little bit different now, so I'm gonna have to get used to it. But let me tell you about the market a little bit before I show you some of the clips. So first things first, where it was at, we were doing it in Ashland, Missouri. It's a big-ish town, not necessarily huge. Columbia is near Ashland, and Columbia, Missouri is pretty big. Not St. Louis or Kansas City levels, but you know what I mean. In comparison to where I live, it's a lot bigger. Financial wise, about the same, give or take. I lived in Ashland for a little while. That was back when my family was even lower income, so I didn't change my prices for this one. Yeah, we did it in Ashland. It was for the Boy Scouts, so it was just to support them. I don't know what they were raising money for. They do this market every year, and the Boy Scouts come and they help us unload our stuff and help us bring it in, and if we need help setting up or something, they'll help us out with that. We didn't really need help with that because it's 2 people already, so it's very small space. I think the space was 6 by 9 feet, very tiny. We very much resorted to the 10-foot table that they gave us and our 2 foldable bookshelves. So yeah, the 10-foot table was kind of insane. I didn't realize it was going to be a 10-foot table. And in fact, they didn't give us much information beforehand at all, but it's okay, I guess. The 10-foot table was kind of insane. I ended up having to layer my tablecloths, which you'll kind of see in the clips that I have. I did not get as much footage as I wanted to. I feel like this happens all the time. And this time it wasn't even because of my mom. It was just because it was just that boring. And nothing happened. So I guess I'll let you watch those 30 seconds worth of clips and then I'll talk to you guys about it a little more. Okay, we're on our way to the market now. Sorry the camera's a little shaky. The road's a little bumpy. And we're in a Jeep. But we're almost there. We should be there in about 5 minutes and then we get to set up. We are all set up and ready to go. I already sold a couple things, so my Grinch and AB is gone. Hopefully that means it's gonna be a good day. We're at the very end. My mom sold a ton of her tumblers today. Not looking too sparse. Definitely gonna have some inventory for next year. I sold both the reindeers, including the one I finished. Okay, now that you guys have seen those clips, I can kind of talk to you guys about it a little bit more. So a little bit more background context. We've done this market before. It's a $50 vendor fee, kind of high considering, but we did it last year, and I knew before we went this year that I was not going to be making a lot because we didn't make a lot last time. And last time I didn't really have much competition. I think there was maybe 1 other crocheter. This time there was a total of 3. At least they're good about that. They do really well at making sure it's not a butt ton of the same people. So that's good. And most of us crochet people had different things. One only did children's beanies, and then the other one, she also did amigurumi, but her style is a lot different than mine. But both of them were really, really sweet. In fact, one of them ended up buying one of my reindeer from me. So she's super sweet. They're both super sweet. I kind of wish I knew their business names. I think one was called Naughty Hooks. Not Naughty Hooks. Nodding Hook? I don't know. Something like that. But they were both super sweet. And then the whole market was really, really slow. It technically started at 9, but people didn't show up till about an hour after start time. And then it went till 3 p.m. So it was about a 6-hour market. And traffic came to an absolute halt after about 1. So not a lot of people. There also wasn't a lot of marketing of this market either. It was on Facebook only, that's it. And the number of people saying they were interested in going was like maybe 100 people. So not much, but it's okay. I already knew that going into this that it wasn't going to do well. It didn't do well. I did have a positive experience for the most part, though. It was really interesting. So last year we had a battle of the reindeer, which I'm going to explain. So you guys know one of my favorite Christmas patterns is Crochet Grove's reindeer. It's not even one of my favorites. It is my absolute favorite. I will do that reindeer multiple times a year, every year. It is beautiful. I love it. Best pattern I've ever had in my life. And they do really well. It's really popular at my markets. They do really well. So at this market was actually the first time I ever made one last year. And I call it the Battle of the Reindeer because as I'm crocheting this reindeer in this 6-hour market, I'm like making progress on it. I had started on it then. The vendors around me were watching me as I was putting this thing together. In fact, there was one lady who had like giant grid walls behind her because we were all back to back. It was in rows. She had giant grid walls behind her with like frames on them. And she was like peeking over her frames, just watching me crochet. So that was really funny. Me and my mom had a really good laugh at that time. And it got to the point where the reindeer was almost finished. Like these people knew what I was making. They were seeing how it was turning out. I was actively like sewing on the head. And I had 3 different vendors who were like, I absolutely have to have that reindeer. And they were talking to me about it throughout that whole market. And I had one to the side of me, one behind me, and then of course the lady that was peeking over her frames. All 3 of them wanted one. But I only had the one. So that year, the lady behind me, in order to make sure she got this thing, she's like, how much would you sell that for? Like, how much are you selling it for? And that time I was selling it for $40. And she digs around in her cash box, and I'm just continuing this thing, and she slaps down the $40 on my table. She's like, it's mine. So that was Battle of the Reindeer Volume 1. She ended up getting it. She was not there this year. But the other 2 were. I think you know where I'm going. So this year, I had made sure to have a reindeer already made, and I was trying to have at least 2, but I didn't end up finishing the second one before we left, so I had to finish the second one while I was there. So this reindeer has been sitting on my top shelf all of market, and a couple of the vendors are recognizing who I am, mainly from this reindeer. So they're like looking at the reindeer like, you were here last year, weren't you? You were making one of those? I'm like, yeah. And I was still working on the second one. I was, repeating what I was doing last year. And I call this the Battle of the Reindeer Volume 2. Not necessarily because people were fighting to buy a reindeer, but because people were teasing each other over whose reindeer was better. So, the other crochet vendor that was selling the children's beanies, she ended up buying the one that was on the shelf. And she wasn't there last year, I don't think, but the other vendor who was there last year and had been wanting one, she's like, I have to have that. And then the crochet lady bought it, and she's like, dang it. And she's like, you're gonna finish that one here, right? And I said, yes. And then that vendor's husband that wanted it came over, and he's like, are you gonna be able to finish that soon? How much is it gonna cost? And he ended up paying me the $45, and then as soon as I finished it, I bagged it into our big Christmas bags that we had brought and gave it to him. So she did end up getting her reindeer. So that was really fun. And then her husband is like, my reindeer is better than yours because it's got blue eyes and yours has green. So that was really fun. It was a very fun experience overall. It was just a very slow traffic. I was bored after I was done with that reindeer. My nose is leaking. I was bored after the reindeer because I didn't bring anything else to do, and at that point I still had 3 hours left. I should have brought something more, but I thought it was going to take me longer because I still need to time myself making those things. I'm probably going to do that when I make the one for my mom for Christmas. I'm whispering because she's here. Shh. But, yeah, I have to wait for more yarn to come in because I ran out of burnout baby sand. So, waiting for more of that to come in, and then I can make that one. So, yeah. It was a very interesting market experience. I'll tell you how much I made, what I ended up selling, and then, yeah, we'll get into that part. Alright, end of market results. They're here now. Sorry I kind of went into a ramble about the whole reindeer, battle of the reindeer, but thought it was a fun experience I thought I should share with you. So overall, me and my mom together made $343. We're pretty neck and neck on how much we made all together. But I ended up selling a Meanie Greenie, a Bumblebee. The Bumblebee ended up selling for $5. The lady who was buying the Grinch also wanted the bee, but asked for a deal on it. And since I had that bee for at least a year, I just decided to go ahead and go through with it. It's okay. That happened a lot at this market. That was the frustrating part. A lot of people came and tried to bargain my prices, and I'm like, I'm already really low though. So no. Just no. I mean, even the guy who bought the second reindeer tried to ask if he could buy it for cheaper, and I had to explain, like, there's already $22 in yarn into this thing, plus the cost of the bells and the polyfill and how long it takes me to make it. So I couldn't do that. But yeah. I ended up selling all of my mini frogs. Those were a bestseller for sure at this one. Every single one of them were gone. I sold two little mini Kirby's, which I've had for some time. I made some Kirby's in different color variations, and because it's not pink, nobody knows what it is. It's just a ball. It's a blob. So I ended up selling two of those, surprisingly. A little girl decided on a little Kirby, and then her mom was like, get one for your brother, so she got one for her brother. So that was good. And then I sold one of my mini reindeer. I still have some left over. I'm gonna have some holiday left over anyway. And then I also we sold a Pokemon gift set, which had a Kirby keychain in it, so I got an extra $5 from that. And then I sold my mini purple octo. Of course, I sold both the reindeer. That was like the biggest income I had the entire day. I also sold a pickle, a possum, my hot cocoa mug, and that was it. So not very much at all. The biggest amount of my income was just those two reindeer. So if I do this again, just for the experience that I tend to have there, I will make sure to have at least like 5 reindeer there. So yes. Especially since I had other vendors coming around, and one lady was already like, oh, is that other reindeer done? Can I get it? And I was like, it's already claimed for. It's already claimed. So I probably could have sold more if I had more. So that's unfortunate, but it's okay. I ended up making a total of $183. My mom ended up making $160. She's been doing really, really well the last few markets, which I'm really happy about. Typically, that's not the case. So that's a really good thing. But yeah, grand total $343, and vendor fee was $50. I paid that, so I technically only got about $133 from this market. But it's okay. For a 6-hour market, it's kind of not great. But it is what it is. You know, these markets are always just kind of hit or miss. So everything's uploaded on Etsy now. Everything that I have left over, except for the giant octopus. I don't really want to put time into putting him on Etsy, just because I'm gonna have to charge like $200 for him on Etsy, because he's a heavy boy. Heavy boy equals expensive shipping. And that's not coming out of my pocket. I am not gonna have a full-time job anymore after this month, because I start student teaching in January. I'll have no income. It's okay. So that's not coming out of my pocket. No, thank you. So yeah, I'll give you some updates on my overall makings for this year though, because I haven't done that in a long time. So, update on that. I ended up making $4,247.74 from all of my markets combined this year. Not great, but better than what it has been the last few years. I've been slowly gaining more traction and slowly gaining more, what's the word I'm looking for? More sales. I can't English and I'm an English teacher. Oh, this is bad. Anyway, I ended up spending over $2,000 on crochet this year. That will probably be different next year since most of my setup is I ended up paying for this year. I think if I'm going to invest in anything next year, it's going to be hooks and a banner. I started getting into the tulip hooks. I'm up to 4 so far. Those things are like $10 a hook. So I need a few more. And then, yeah. I think it'll be set after that. I might play around with my setup a little bit, depending on how much I end up crocheting in my time off. I'm already looking for markets for next year. Yeah, I wanted to try and do some conventions next year, but I'll be student teaching. You know what happens when you're student teaching and there's conventions? There's conventions are 3 days long, and student teaching, I work on Fridays. But now that I know that I'm off in mid-April, I'll look and see if there's any in May, maybe? We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. In Missouri, I think a lot of them are in April, though. It sucks. Either that or during the school year, when I'll be teaching full-time. It's great. Anyway, after all the costs and everything, it was a total of $2,073.16. This is still going to go up later this year. I did just finish a commission for my future sister-in-law. I'll show that to you real quick. I ended up making her a bear with a lavender flower crown. She asked me to make this for her for a friend of hers, so I don't know what it's a reference to. It's a reference to something. But it's something between them. But yeah. I ended up making one of those. It turned out quite chunky. Its belly is so cute. I don't remember who the pattern is by, but I'll link this one down below. If there's any other patterns I mentioned other than the reindeer, because I'm also going to link that one, absolutely have to. If there's any other patterns you saw or I mentioned that you want the link to, let me know. But yeah, I will see you guys next week. I don't know what I'm going to do for a video for next week yet. I'm a little lost now that there's no markets. There's no markets to prep for. I just crochet for fun now. So we'll see. But I'll see you guys next week. Bye.